Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 Innovator of the Year Awards. We have a wonderful program this morning, exciting things to tell you, and an impressive group of innovators to introduce. I'm Marlene McDonald, president of Innovate Long Island, and together with Gregory Zeller, Innovate Long Island's vice president and editor, we are the team bringing you the newsletter each week and the stories you read on our website. And this year, we're happy to say the team is expanding to include our corporate sponsors. We're excited and looking forward to their participation to bring you focused, timely content in areas like cybersecurity, crowdfunding, business formation, and of course, taxes. So keep watching the newsletters and you'll see that taking shape over the next couple months. We are recording this morning's event for a video that will be posted to our website, and we are also live streaming the event. So, good morning to all of you watching from the comfort of your couch and your favorite device. We have QuickCast to thank for that. John Richardson and his team are incredible at what they do, so thank you very much, John. Before we begin the presentation of awards, I need to thank, first of all, the two friends who gave up their morning for me, Trudy Fitzsimmons and Katie Lively, to help me at the registration table. Katie and Trudy, wherever you are, thank you so much for coming here and helping this morning. And I do want to thank the companies and organizations here this morning who continue to support our media site, enabling us to report on and celebrate innovation on Long Island. Eisner-Amper, Farmingdale State College, Farrell Fritz, Hofstra University, the law offices of Andrew Pressburg, the Long Island Business Development Council, Mazars USA, Nixon Peabody, Northwell Health, NYIT, Ruskin Moscow Faltachek, San Ward Kosciuszko, Stony Brook University Economic Development, and the Long Island High Tech Incubator, SUNY Old Westbury, and the town of Islip Economic Development. I'd also like to thank the companies sponsoring our event this morning: Applied DNA Sciences, LG Studios, MIDI Medical Product Development, and Nomo Robo. This year, we created a Young Innovator Award to recognize the students in high school and college who do amazing things and take our breath away, especially because they're so young and smart and full of potential. It was the generous and continued support of John Cameron of Cameron Engineering that allowed us to add this special category to our program this morning. We're providing young innovators with recognition for the inspiring work they're doing, along with a glimpse of the business world, plus they get an awesome t-shirt with this logo that says, "Follow me to the future." So thank you, John Cameron, for your friendship and your support. And a special thank you to another event sponsor, iTutor, which provides online tutoring services to students. iTutor's CEO, Harry Aurora, has brought members of his advisory board to this morning's event, including Marnie Hazelton, superintendent of Roosevelt Union Free School District, and Ann Peterson, superintendent of the Lawrence Union Free School District, and Jean Silverman, former executive director of Nassau BOCES. Welcome to you all, and thank you for all you do for education on Long Island. We appreciate it. And we have a special award to bestow today, the John L. Komanicki Legacy Award to Yakov Shamash, President for Economic Development at Stony Brook University. The meaning of legacy is something left behind or bequeathed as a gift. Yakov has bequeathed many gifts to us, and Michael Faltachek will elaborate on that later. The award you will see is a clock, a timepiece, as himself was wont to say. Excuse me. I think right now we'll just get on with the presentation of awards. So here to introduce our Master of Innovation is Gregory Zeller. He will introduce Mitch Maiman of Intelligent Product Solutions. And I think once I collect myself, I'll be able to tell you more about our award for Yakov.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Marlene, as many of you know, was John Kamenicki's right hand for many years, mostly during the time when most of you met him when he was publisher of Long Island Business News. When we lost John 2 Decembers ago, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen with this thing we'd started. As big a future as Innovate Long Island has, it was such a small and fragile thing. And I'm the writer, I'm the editor. I'm certainly not out there signing sponsors and taking care of the business side. But there was Marlene, as upset about John as any of us, and much more than that. But she understood Innovate Long Island's potential. She saw the road ahead clearly, and she stepped in and saved the thing when the thing needed saving. Seeing so many old friends here today is a testament to John Kamenicki's legacy. Seeing so many new faces is all about Marlene and her amazing work. If she's not out there making this dog hunt, then I don't get to write about all you wild and crazy innovators. So I'm also probably working at Target. So can I please have one more round of applause for Marlene and her amazing work. You rock, Mo. I'm truly honored to introduce this year's Master of Innovation. We had many inspiring candidates to choose from this year, as we do every year. Whatever its economic condition might be at the time, Long Island seems to have no shortage of genius. Dr. Betty Diamond at the Feinstein Institute, we're honoring her today in the health sciences category. She could lead any innovation list. So could Dr. Nada Anid, who led the New York Institute of Technology's Engineering and Computing College through a decade of growth before being promoted to vice president last year. The list goes on. But when Kamenicki came to me a few years ago and said, let's go do this thing, I'm pretty sure Mitch Maiman was who he had in mind. We went live in March 2015, and it took Mitch and his product design company almost 2 whole months to pop up on our still developing radar. When he did, we knew we'd met a winner. Exactly the kind of young, creative company that would benefit from a website like ours and also be able to help us fill it with really neat content. When I first interviewed Mitch, I just liked the guy right away. He wasn't a mad scientist, but he was an enthusiastic one. He got jazzed by inventiveness, and he loved digesting mechanical problems and conceptualizing unique solutions. The way his mind works, his contagious passion for innovation. For a journalist who was focusing on exclusively on the innovation economy, this kind of set a tone for me. It was an ideal sort of like what an innovator should be. Meanwhile, he and his partner, the equally bold Paul Severino, had launched this company in the teeth of the Great Recession, and they'd somehow brought it through. So obviously, this was a businessman worth knowing. Innovate Long Island readers have gotten to know him very well. Between Q&As, news features on intelligent product solutions and the companies that benefit from IPS's inspired designs, and opinion pieces by Mitch himself, the man and his company have been featured on our website no fewer than 21 times since that first story in May 2015. Sometimes it's an amazing new product, the smart pill bottle that tracks prescriptions, or the beer box, which is a vending machine that'll actually, open your can for you. There's remote sensors that track well water quality in remote villages around the globe. There are many other excellent examples. Sometimes it's Mitch sharing his insider predictions of the year ahead in technology, or looking back on lessons he learned growing up behind the counter at the family pharmacy. Sometimes it's a big business deal, a consulting partnership with Arrow Electronics, or last year's acquisition by a Florida-based parent that opened intelligent product solutions to the world. And always with his hand on the wheel, Mitch Maiman. Truly, this is what we envisioned for Innovate Long Island. A maker who builds it here, an entrepreneur who keeps it here, and a local success story that thrives on helping other Long Island innovators find their way. When a man says his biggest regret is becoming CEO of his company because it takes him out of the hands-on engineering loop, you get a pretty clear idea that they broke the mold with this one. A man who appears to be a master of all trades and a jack of none. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a true pleasure to introduce Innovate Long Island's 2019 Master of Innovation, my friend, the creative and clever Mr. Mitch Maiman.
I don't know what I could say. I think he said everything already. That's not much to be said. But thank you for inviting me here to this event and for the Master of Innovation Award. Special thanks to Greg Zeller and to Marlene McDonald at Innovate Long Island. Their website and newsletter are really valuable tools connecting those of us in the local technology world. I will say one other thing. I'm the oldest innovator in my company, and I'm proud to still be here. Unlike New York City, Silicon Valley, and other sort of highly concentrated environments, Long Island's technical community is very diverse and geographically dispersed. So we don't have the advantages, say, of New York City, where you could walk next door and see, 5 other startups, or go upstairs into the next floor, as I have with some of our clients. A publication like Innovate Long Island is really the way we help glue things together, and it really gives a focus to Long Island's tech community. And we're really pleased and proud to be able to tell our stories on a regular basis through Innovate Long Island. So there's 2 ways to interpret the term master. One is to consider it the ultimate rank of personal achievement, a reflection of an individual's capabilities. Another way is to recognize as a person who really leads a team of dedicated and talented individuals. And generally, really, I speak of myself as the latter. If people think I'm an innovator, great, but it's really our team that is really the strength of our company. Without going through my entire work history, some of you know me for many, many years. I used to be part of Simple Technologies. Now it's called Zebra Technologies. I think some of you know me from those days. And when I joined, it was a sort of a $100 million business, and when I left, it was almost $2 billion in revenue. During that period, we created an entire industry around barcode reading technology, and then the integration of that technology into a whole raft of other products. We were the team to beat in our industry. We were the most hated company in our industry, I believe, and we took great pride in that, by the way. It was also during this time, very important for IPS, is that I learned how to use technology and innovation to create competitive advantage. Essentially, we had technology and innovation as the way we would keep our competition on the ropes, and that's what we apply now. About 11 years ago, I created IPS along with my co-founder, my good friend and business partner, Paul Severino. And the vision at the time which was totally unique, was that we wanted a company that could create technology-oriented products of all kinds for all different kinds of firms, large and small, from large, national and global clients to startups and even local inventors. We achieved this by bringing all of the necessary design and engineering talents together in one team under one roof. And today our staff is over 100 people. The realization of this vision is really the cornerstone of our business today, and our team also, though, our success is also really a function of the support we've gotten from both the local business community and from the universities as well. And let me talk about that for a moment. On the academic side, we've greatly benefited from our relationship with Stony Brook University, and especially with Yakov Shamash, whom most of you know, another of today's well-deserved award winners. When we started out, it was just me and my business partner in my upstairs bedroom, but we had to build a team, and the university was, really our pipeline for interns, and our entry-level people. And we also took great pride in that we were able to have our staff volunteer on a regular basis to support the student population on the campus. That's how we built our relationships with the student community. We bypassed the administration and the professors, and we went right to the students. But Yakov supported us in that. And we also now offer scholarships at Stony Brook University. We have 2 scholarships we offer each year to Stony Brook students in need. We've enjoyed similar relationships with NYIT, and we've got a growing relationship now with my alma mater, which is Hofstra University. On the business side, we have many clients, large and small, on projects of all different sizes. Not surprisingly, Zebra remains one of our largest clients. Over the years, we've created and carved a niche locally with startups and small and even mid-sized companies locally. A couple of companies that are local. Nomo Robo has been one of our clients, and Applied DNA is, of course, one of our clients. But others locally are, Spine Care Technologies, Ultrasound Solutions, Schoolwide, TheraCare, Brentronics, and DDC. By the way, you'll notice there's no one vertical for our company. We have everything from DoD to medical products to commercial products to software applications for school curriculum. And on the large side, we do work, of course, for Zebra, but we're also doing work for Google, for Anheuser-Busch, and for BAE locally. We really enjoy working with early-stage companies, including pre-launch companies. Our management team, including me, really help them to build realistic business plans. We leverage our experience with product roadmap development and realistic capitalization plans, all that built on top of our technical and design know-how. There's a lot of examples I could introduce, and it's hard to pick. But one is, Gregory mentioned earlier, was AdhereTech. It's a smart connected pill. It's a company based in the city. They were a startup when they came to us. It's a smart connected pill bottle. It has sensors to detect the change in contents of the bottle. It has a cellular modem integrated into it, so if you don't take your prescription on time, it messages you. It tries to get you to take your prescription, and if it doesn't, it's cloud connected to a cellular modem, and it sends messaging out to the cloud and then down to, somebody like my daughter's phone and says, "Dad, why didn't Dad take his medicine at noon today?" But it's all about healthcare. It's about keeping people to take their prescriptions when they're supposed to take them, and in many cases, these are life and death medications. We started work with AdhereTech when really all they had was a very crude demonstration model. We completely redesigned it for the functionality and to help it get it productized. We helped them get regulatory approval. We got them cellular carrier certification and get their manufacturing rolling. When all was said and done, this client really leveraged all of our capabilities: industrial design, electrical engineering, firmware engineering, mechanical and software engineering, as well as our business development experience. After the launch, we helped them get a prestigious design award, and we also helped them get their product into an exhibit at the Cooper Hewitt Museum last year, which was focused on accessibility. AdhereTech at this point is not really an early stage startup anymore. They've shipped tens of thousands, and I don't know, I've lost track, maybe hundreds of thousands of these smart connected pill bottles already. I've lost count, and they just recently secured $1 gazillion of incremental funding that they probably didn't even need. By the way, AdhereTech innovation story doesn't end there. Those of us involved with innovation know you can never stop. And unfortunately, I can't tell you about the new things we're doing with AdhereTech, but when I can, Gregory will get the call from us. There's other examples. One was mentioned by Gregory. It's called Beer Box. We did this for Anheuser-Busch. They have an innovation arm in the city called ZX Ventures. It's the innovation arm of Anheuser-Busch. And basically what it is, it's a smart, connected beer can vending machine that dispenses an open can of beer. And you might wonder, why do you have an open can of beer? It's because these are used in concert and sporting events, and if you know about the stadiums, you're not allowed to dispense an unopened can of beer. Hence, we had to open the can. It's recently been in trials in stadiums and entertainment venues all around the country. Then, more recently, we just completed a digital signage for Compass Realty. They're local. They're a high-end realtor, and we use technology to provide property information to clients and agents through their cell phones interacting with the digital signage. This is one of the first projects, by the way, where we actually delivered finished product to the client, and that's one of the new things we're doing now is not just designing product, but we're actually delivering finished goods. It's currently in field trials right now. And then there's Steinway, and Greg asks me, what can I tell you about Steinway? He asks me every couple of weeks, when can you tell me about Steinway? I'll tell you about one thing on Steinway, because it's something we did a couple of years ago. I can't tell you about the current one yet. But we take a Steinway baby grand piano when we have it Bluetooth connected. Steinway has a vast library of recorded music and video dating back to the 1930s. And if you buy a stereo grand piano or baby grand piano from Steinway, you have an app that runs on your phone, and you access the Steinway music library, and we replicate the original artist's style on that Steinway piano in your living room or wherever it may be. There's some real groundbreaking advances we've done in the newer generation machine. Piano. I can't tell you about them today. It's still very, very confidential. But you'll hear about it in Innovate Long Island as soon as we can talk about it. Before I go, there's a few words I'd like to say about the general, my view of the tech community on Long Island. And some of you may recall, when I was at Hofstra as an undergraduate, Long Island was a Defense Department powerhouse. We had, many tier 1 defense firms here. We had, Grumman, Fairchild Republic, AIL, Eaton, others. I was actually at Norton Systems for a while. And my whole goal when I was at Hofstra was I wanted to be part of that community. I wanted to be involved with the space program or, the next generation of what comes after the F-14. Alas, by the time I graduated, the wheels were really falling off the bus. And while Long Island still has a share of defense and aerospace activity, these aren't really the local dominant engine for, that it once was. So what will replace them? It's not going to be sort of just insular supermarkets and, not to take anything away from Stop and Shop and medical facilities. They're really within the most of them live within the community. They don't bring in outside economic value to the community. I will say the exception is Northwell, and I'm sure there's some Northwell folks here. They're doing a lot of innovation work now, and it's taking them beyond what we classically think of as a hospital system. So, I think part of the answer is still my old friends at Zebra. There's still a lot of innovation work going on there, and we're proud to still be part of that today, and they remain one of our largest customers. I think a lot depends on entrepreneurship and the startups. We don't know what companies or what kinds of companies are going to be the best shot, but I do believe that you have to plant many, many seeds. Reason is many will fail. Most will fail. Some will underachieve. But hopefully, if you plant enough seeds, a few will rise to the top and become the anchor clients of the future, Long Island economy. I'm proud of IPS. We view ourselves as an important factor for some of our early stage clients. It's hard for us even to tell which ones will be the ultimate winners, but my associates and I love contributing our know-how and the benefits of our experience to these different companies. When a client comes to us with an unfocused vision or an incomplete product strategy, we help them to refine that vision. Besides our technical expertise on a business level, we help them clarify the commercial potential and really narrow down to specific product roadmaps for product launch. And we help them with IP ideation to try to give them some critical breathing room for launching and generating revenues. Personally, I really enjoy coaching and mentoring these companies. Again, besides creative, innovative approaches for technical and product levels, I love sharing the benefits of my experience in launching and growing IPS, especially during the recession. That's a character-building exercise, I'll tell you that. But the other thing is we get the benefit of the insights from like hundreds of startups that we work with over the years. So we see what works and what doesn't work. We're deep into the bowels of many, many companies, hundreds of companies' business plans and their product strategies. So we don't know, we can see and others can learn from our experience, and that's what we like to share. So once again, I'm grateful to Innovate Long Island for naming me this year's Master of Innovation. And I'd love to share the award with my amazing team. And we look forward to many more years providing innovation services to our local, regional, national, and global clients. Thank you very much.
Okay, we will now continue with the presentation of awards in all of the categories, and it's my pleasure to introduce a good friend of ours, Alon Capen from Farrell Fritz.
Well, thank you very much, Marlene. Good morning, everybody. How great is it to be in a room full of innovators? And I'm so delighted to be presenting again at this 4th annual Innovator of the Year breakfast. I'm Alon Capen, and I'm a partner in the Corporate and Finance Group of Farrell Fritz, one of the proud sponsors of this event. I also have the privilege of being the head of our Emerging Companies and Venture Capital Practice Group, where we provide focused representation to all the players in the innovation ecosystem: the entrepreneurs, the startups, the emerging companies, the venture-backed companies, the angels, the VCs. I'm also very fortunate and very excited to have several of our clients in the room today as award recipients, and as well as many friends, people I've gotten to know really well in the Long Island innovation ecosystem. I really love what I do because I'd much rather hang out with entrepreneurs, people like you, rather than people like me. And I do want to congratulate all of our clients who are receiving awards today, as well as the other award recipients, and especially Yaakov Shamash, who is getting a very special award today, named after a very special person. I'll try not to get as choked up as Marlene did. But we all had a lot of admiration for John. I think it's wonderful. And by the way, how about another round of applause for Marlene and Greg for carrying on the legacy of John and giving us Innovate Long Island every year and doing this event. But Yaakov, this is a well-deserved award for you. Everything that you've done to promote entrepreneurship at Stony Brook University, to promote academic entrepreneurship, to promote academic private sector initiatives. You've even ventured out into the dark side of the private sector and served on boards of companies. But I couldn't help but notice that this is the second organization that has given you the John Kamenicki Award. Peter Goldsmith is sitting right next to you, and ListNet gave you the John Kamenicki Award last year. We all admired John, and those who knew him well admired him for many things, and we know affectionately that he was someone who appreciated a fine libation every now and then. In fact, Peter, when you gave your award to Yaakov last year, you presented him with a really nice, fancy decanter. And so I'm really glad that, Yaakov, you're being appreciated completely for things other than your professional accomplishments. So there are lots of people in the room who do need to be appreciated, so it's my privilege to announce the award recipients in the technology category. And our first award recognizes a crusader, but he doesn't need a cape, although he's partial to a black T-shirt with his logo prominently displayed in yellow. So maybe a T-shirted crusader. His company, No More Robo, defends us against those dreaded calls with recorded messages and telemarketers with no clue as to whom they just dialed. We may not be able to stop those calls, but we can block them, and No More Robo does just that. It blocks robocalls, threats of would-be data thieves, and now offers all website visitors a free, real-time robocaller lookup page, tracking the nation's most active and current known robodialers. The result of all this tech, savvy, and hard work, NomoRobo has successfully blocked 1 billion robocalls. Please join me in congratulating the founder of NomoRobo, the robocall terminator himself, Aaron Fox. While Aaron's getting his award, we'll move on to the next award, which recognizes iTutor that you just heard about, which is a digital platform dedicated to making education more accessible both inside and outside the classroom by connecting New York State certified teachers with K through 12 students from virtually anywhere. iTutor provides online tutoring and test prep help for students facing the SATs, the ACTs, my 16-year-old son included, and other standardized tests on various grade levels, and is busy assembling an experienced advisory board of current and former teachers, school administrators, and superintendents to enhance both student achievement, specifically Long Island student achievement, and the company's bottom line. Please join me in congratulating the creator and CEO of iTutor, Harry Aurora. I'm glad to see you finally made it here. So our final award in the tech category goes to MIDI Medical Product Development, a state-of-the-art innovation center in Smithtown's Village of the branch, where the best and brightest thinkers and tinkerers in med tech were brought in to ramp up design and testing for a host of new devices intended to transform the healthcare industry. The Invention Hub has been promoted at leading industry events across the country to bring attention not only to the Innovation Center, but to ignite innovation across greater New York. The vision of MIDI's co-founders is to move med tech forward in the New York area with growth and expansion as the ultimate goal. Full disclosure, MIDI is a client of ours, and ironically, I've been working with them for the last several months, spending many, many hours on the phone, and I never met them in person. So the great thing about an award ceremony like this is that you finally get to meet some of your clients in person. So please join me in congratulating Christopher and Gregory Montalbano, the co-founders of MIDI Medical Product Development. Please come on up here and meet your lawyer in person. So congratulations again to all of our award recipients, and please join me now in welcoming our next presenter, Alan Cohen.
Good morning. All right. I am Alan Cohen, and I'm the managing partner for the Long Island office of Nixon Peabody. I know this because it's in my script. Thank you, Marlene. It's my pleasure to join my fellow Innovate Long Island sponsors as a presenter for this morning's awards program. First, some thanks, of course, to Marlene and Gregory for another successful year, another successful event today. We're all proud that you're carrying the torch. It's really wonderful. Congratulations also to Mitch. Mitch and Paul, fellow Met fans, undefeated. Doing better than my NCAA bracket, by the way, but that's okay. We still have some time. And to Yakov Shamash, who, like Madonna, you just know him by his first name. That's all you need. But a true legend in the Long Island ecosystem. Mitch's word was that I'll steal was glue, and I think that saying that Innovate Long Island is Long Island's innovation ecosystem glue is probably a bit wordy, and I would not suggest it's a tagline, but it is descriptive, and it describes Mitch's company too, just from the roster of companies that he so gladly helps. I'm not sure where we'd be without a company like IPS to fill in many of the gaps that a lot of the innovating companies need. So thanks to Mitch and his team. I'd like to announce the awardees now in the Health Science and Medical Devices category. Our next awardee, iCell Gene Therapeutics, is searching for better cancer treatments. They're working with China-based researchers, institutions across the region, the nation, and the world, including China's Chengdu Military General Hospital, the National Institute of Health, and the Long Island High Technology Incubator at Stony Brook. The FDA has granted iCell critical orphan drug designation for 5 of its chimeric antigen receptor modified, or CAR, therapies, and a 2018 partnership with a subsidiary of Applied DNA Sciences, a company we hear a couple things about, bears the promise of pioneering a new generation of faster, more affordable CAR T therapies in the fight against cancers like melanoma and leukemia. The CEO of iCell Gene Therapeutics, Weil Solomon, was unable to make it this morning, but accepting the award on his behalf, Bill Haynes. Bill. Our next awardee is another champion in the fight against disease, specifically lupus. Among many other accomplishments, Betty Diamond and her team of Feinstein Institute researchers developed a system for identifying a person's risk for lupus by examining antibodies and a specific blood-based protein complex. And in 2018, Dr. Diamond also helped pioneer research revealing that ACE inhibitors, common pharmaceutical treatments for hypertension, could be the key to preserving brain function in lupus patients. Years of laboratory work will follow, but the risk index is already being hailed as a potential pathway to smarter and more efficient early intervention protocols. Join me, please, in congratulating Feinstein Institute researcher Betty Diamond. Her colleague, Jacqueline Nestor, is with us this morning to accept the award on Dr. Diamond's behalf. Our next awardee, Applied DNA Sciences, is off and running again. The forward-moving biotech firm has expanded its footprint to India and is expanding through Asia via a new memorandum of understanding with Sun Chemical Supply Company, a 60-year veteran supplier of chemicals, synthetic materials, and equipment. In Canada, Applied DNA's Certainty platform was introduced to the legalized marijuana industry. There are new partnerships with a pharmaceutical manufacturer in Pennsylvania, in Illinois' Underwriters Laboratories, and as I mentioned before, a partnership with iCell Gene Therapeutics here on Long Island in developing anti-cancer therapies. Applied DNA's steady growth and leadership in their field is admirable and inspiring. I wish them continued success in all their endeavors. Please join me in recognizing the exceptional work being done by Applied DNA Sciences and its president and CEO, James Hayward. Congratulations. Lastly, previous studies have reinforced the benefits of diabetes-focused telemedicine programs in low-income communities, but no current program is tailored specifically to Hispanic communities, particularly among the 33% of U.S. Hispanics who will at some point in their lifetime develop type 2 diabetes, the most common form of the metabolic disorder. This places additional emphasis on the work being done by our second awardee from the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research, Renee Pekmazaris, backed by more than $3 million in funding from the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute for this study, focused on home telemonitoring of Hispanic community patients living with type 2 diabetes. Dr. Pekmazaris is also earning 2 prior PQRI grants for telehealth studies, one focused on undeserved heart failure, one on chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. I'm going to finish speaking the rest of the day today. I've said it. That's my long words quota for the day. Please join me in congratulating Renee Pekmazaris of the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research. Congratulations again to all of our awardees. Join me now in welcoming our next presenter, William Maddox, to the stage.
I thought I was being innovative when I blew my script up to these huge proportions here on my page yesterday, so I didn't need my readers, and then I found out this morning I need them anyway. Alan, as a fellow Met fan, while you were up here at the podium, a newsflash came across most of our phones saying that the Mets have just signed Jacob deGrom to a 5-year deal, so we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bill Mannix. I'm Director of Economic Development for the town of Islip, and it's my pleasure to join my fellow Innovate Long Island sponsors as a presenter for this morning's award program. I'm joined today by Deputy Director from my office, John Walzer, and longtime, and I mean longtime, volunteer for our Economic Development Commission, which is a business advisory board in the town of Islip, Frank Regnanti. Thank you, Frank, for coming, and John. I'm also joined by my fellow executive committee members from the Long Island Business Development Council, Ted Sasso, Denise Angiulo, and Kathy Pasquale. The LIBDC, for those of you who don't know, has been around for 50 years. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. We are celebrating the 50th anniversary this year. I think Ted was at the first meeting ever, right, Ted? I, by the way, was still a junior in high school, hoping to get to Woodstock during the summer, but I couldn't find a ride. Yes, I was a Met fan there. It was a good year for Met fans. Yes, they won the World Series that year. But the LIBDC is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and it'll be culminating in a very thought-provoking and sometimes raucous annual conference out at the newly named Gurney's at Star Island in Montauk. So for those who would like to come, please contact one of us or Marlene. I'm sorry, I did not mention that Marlene is also a member of the executive committee of the LIBDC. She wears many hats, and she actually is the person to contact if you want to get to the annual conference. So that was a commercial for the LIBDC. I will now announce our awardees in the inventions category. It's a matter of looking good on the go. Our first awardee, Lisa Abbey, was inspired to innovation by a frazzled customer who was disappointed by the traditional travel-size hair products typically found on drugstore shelves. I myself had to shop for this a few weeks ago, although I sent my wife out to do it, and it's hard to find those little travel-sized, in my case, hair gel. Determined to alleviate the stress, Lisa's company, Fly Girl Beauty Brands, created high-quality products in to-go sizes through a partnership with American Culture, a Huntington-based, family-owned manufacturer of professional beauty products. They've developed 9 proprietary hair care products that, according to the innovator, offer the same benefits as the top brands, but at convenient travel sizes and a really great price point. To date, Fly Girl products are stocked at airports in North Carolina, Denver, and California, but sadly, not on Long Island at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Maybe we'll do something about that. That is owned by the town of Islip and run by the town of Islip, so we should have some influence to get you into Long Island MacArthur Airport. And there are more locations to come, hopefully the first one of those being Long Island MacArthur. Join me now in congratulating the CEO of Fly Girl Beauty Brands, Lisa Abbey. Our next awardee, Chris Kane, was faced with a challenge: to become the college meal plan for real life while reinventing how people interact with fast casual restaurants. The result? Munch Money, a nationwide employee engagement brand backed by 45,000 tasty friends. The premise is simple. Employers pay $1 per employee per month for access to the Munch Money platform, which offers deals at regional restaurants. The restaurants who participate for no fee gain new traffic. The employees, again no fee, enjoy great deals, and the employers add a nice attraction retention perk. That could be the best dollar you'll ever spend. The Munch Money app is now available at Google Play and the App Store, and the early stage enterprise is also setting its first financing round targeting angels and VC investors. Please join me in wishing Munch Money, here's the most important part, a West Islip-based business, continued success and congratulating its CEO, Chris Kane, and co-founders Aaron Pardes and Tony Dobbs. Our next award recognizes that irrepressible, innovative spirit that starts as a basement-built prototype and doesn't slow down till it reaches the big time on Shark Tank. Yes, they were on Shark Tank. I always say, thank God that Long Island single-family homes were built with basements and garages, because half the companies on Long Island wouldn't exist now without them. In 2011, co-founders Brian Schimmerlich and Stephen Bofill recruited Steve's father, former Northrop Grumman systems engineer, Leroy Grumman started his business in his garage, Brian Bofill, for help with their bright idea, a new age vending machine designed to dispense an array of electronics and personal products, smartphone batteries, headphones, hairspray, and more, for an on-the-go generation. And from that inspiration sprung Vengo. Since snagging national attention and a $2 million buy-in from co-hosts Kevin O'Leary and Lori Greiner on their 2016 Shark Tank appearance, Team Vengo has secured high-profile partnerships with Hershey, Revlon, and Hyatt Hotels, and is even giving campus life a whirl, installing vending machines across the Stony Brook University campus in partnership with North Carolina-based Canteen Vending Services. Join me now in wishing them continued success and congratulating Vengo creators Brian Schimmerlich and Stephen Bofill. Congratulations again to all of our awardees. Join me now in welcoming our next presenter to the stage, Stacy Sykes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you again to Marlene and Greg for getting us all together this morning. Hofstra University is very proud to partner with a lot of the organizations in this room on our programs at the Center for Entrepreneurship and the Idea Hub. I want to congratulate all the awardees today. I especially would like to congratulate all of the awardees from Hofstra, including students, faculty, administrators, and alumni who you'll be hearing about starting with this next category. I'd also like to recognize our superstar entrepreneur in residence, Aaron Foss. Congratulations. I'd also like to recognize, we have one of our advisory board members here, Robert Hussey, who has been a great supporter of entrepreneurship at Hofstra. And I'm also joined by my colleagues at the Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. Thank you for being here today. So, on to the awards. This category recognizes young innovators, students in high school, colleges, and universities who are taking the STEM learning experience and their own accomplishments to the next level. It is my great pleasure to recognize the first awardee in this group, Unispan Records, which was created by Hofstra University's own Sharon Goldsmith, Senior Associate Dean of Entrepreneurship and Business Development. And the student-run record label invites students interested in the many different facets of the music business to build an independent label from the ground up. Along with Sharon, Unispan is supported by industry-rich collection of executives and residents, including Atlantic Records Vice President Rigo Morales, XXL Magazine Editor-in-Chief Vanessa Satin, and Asylum Records Senior Marketing Director Angel Martinez, among others. So please join me in recognizing Sharon Goldsmith, and we also have students from Unispan Records here this morning, Sean Germain and Kylie Schmoyer. Congratulations. Our next award involves the terrible, awful, no good, very bad lab coats and recognizes the innovative answer to getting them clean. In his third year of clinical rotations at the Zucker School of Medicine, Jonathan Preminger confronted a challenge familiar to many healthcare professionals: what to do about a lab coat that had not been washed at the end of the rotation and was contaminated by exposure to patients. With a plan to disinfect white coats and other healthcare garments using ultraviolet light technology, Sterilocker was born. Like a locker or small closet, the patented device can fit into numerous convenient locations and promises full sterilization within minutes utilizing UV light. And it even sends a message to the user's smartphone when it's ready. So we have another Hofstra affiliate awardee, Jonathan Preminger. I wish you continued success to you and your team, especially as Sterilocker becomes an essential and integral part of the hospital and medical field environment. Congratulations. Dr. Preminger. Okay, our next award involves the I did that one already. Our next award recognizes a student who achieved something most high school sophomores, or anyone else for that matter, ever do: official global recognition, in this case as a business principal savant. At the 2018 DECA International Career Development Conference, William Benai, now a junior at Half Hollow Hills, earned a top 10 in the world award in the Principles of Business Administration category. Competing against students from around the world, William completed a rigorous 100-question exam and delivered 2 topic-specific, leadership-focused speeches, each with only 10 minutes prep time, to earn his top spot. Truly deserving of his DECA honor and recognition by Innovate Long Island, we wish William continued success on his academic path. Please join me now in recognizing William Benai, our young innovator from Half Hollow Hills East. Our next award recognizes 2 truly young innovators, friends actually, who bested the fiercely intelligent competition from the United States, Singapore, Peru, Ireland, and Australia in the 2018 Spelman HV Electronics Clean Tech Competition. In the end, the Long Island team of Danielle Kelly, representing the Friends Academy, and Audrey Shine, a student at Plainview Old Bethpage JFK High School, finished on top, taking first place and the $10,000 top prize with a project focused on enhancing the efficiency of hydrogen fuel cells. Danielle and Audrey had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to collaborate with young scientists around the world, but the true value of the experience, the feel, was collaborating internationally to solve the pressing and universal issue of climate change. We congratulate Danielle Kelly and Audrey Shine on their accomplishments and hope that their friendship and collaborations continue to grow. We're looking forward to much more from this young innovator team. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations again to today's honorees. And join me now in welcoming our next presenter, Michael San, to the stage.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you to everyone for attending today. I want to thank my colleagues at Son Ward Cascignano for also joining me. I'm the managing member of our firm, and we are very pleased to present some awards today. And I want to also thank Marlene and Greg for inviting us to be present. I'm struck by the fact that everyone in the room are not just thought leaders in their field, but you're creators, and you're creating products and technology and devices that are going to impact all of us in the future, and that is unbelievably commendable. So with that note, I am pleased to present the awards in the Clean Gen category, which, as I read the script, I was again struck by the fact that the people in this category are doing things that those of us who know the field would never have thought possible years ago. So our first awardee is Allied Microbiota. Allied Microbiota is an early-stage bootstrapped startup. Now, what does that mean? That is commendable because it means that they've started the company with little or no outside funding. Even more commendable is that their mission is to remediate soils and sediments tainted by toxins. Founded by Franna James and Raymond Sombriato, and now with newly installed Director of Technology Michael Chin, the company uses microbial products to treat toxic pollutants, including PCBs, in soil and sediment. They've got several patent applications pending and an ambitious field testing program underway. And they're fine-tuning their solutions for a market they feel is ripe for such products. And certainly on Long Island, we know of all the pollution that we are dealing with, and they are right on point with that. The goal is commercialization, and the plan is to start manufacturing on a larger scale in 2019. So please join me in congratulating the team at Allied Microbiota, Franna James, Raymond Sambrodo, and Michael Chin. Next, I want to recognize a client of Stony Brook University's Clean Energy Business Incubator Program and a graduate of the university's 2017 Innovation Boot Camp. That's our next awardee, Store N. Now, Store N wants to revolutionize the energy market with its evolutionary vanadium flow batteries, and that's definitely a new one on me. But these are rechargeable units that use vanadium ions in different oxidation states to store chemical potential energy. The goal is to shrink the typically large power sources for residential and light commercial use. Originally launched in Italy, the startup's 4 co-founders are planning extensive research and development focused on increasing performance and reducing environmental footprints that will ultimately lead to economically viable solutions. So please join me in congratulating the co-founder and CEO of Store N, Carlo Brovero. Congratulations, Carlo. Our next awardee is Javier Izquierdo. And Javier, if I mispronounce that, please correct me. Javier is a scientist and an assistant professor at Hofstra University. Hofstra seems to be dominating today, although Stony Brook has a good showing. Anyway, Hofstra assistant professor Javier, whose research efforts are designed to better understand and even improve local plant health have given him insights into the potential biofuels produced from agricultural waste. The scientist's cross-disciplinary approach incorporates the disciplines of microbiology, ecology, evolutionary science, molecular science, and genomic techniques, all working together to help him decipher the effects of plant microbiomes. Those are the pathogenic microorganisms inhabiting plants that have on their hosts, and to leverage them into new sustainable bioproducts, including biofuels. According to the professor, Long Island boasts a broad, diverse set of environments and is the perfect place for this research, and he has an opportunity to solve real problems with his knowledge. Is Javier present? Javier, please come forward. And congratulations to you. And now it's my honor to present our next presenter, Stephen Creit. Stephen?
Good morning, everybody. Hi, Larry. So my name is Stephen Creit. I am from Eisner Amper. I'm the partner in charge of the commercial audit practice and also the technology and life sciences practice, both here on Long Island and in New York City as well. Our firm, for those of you who don't know, is a pretty large firm. We're the 5th largest in the region. But really where our passion lies is with earlier stage startup companies. Our tech and life sciences group works with companies really throughout their whole life cycle. We spend a lot of time with, at Launchpad doing office hours, at Stony Brook working with the Center for Biotechnology, and really have a passion for early stage startup companies and helping them grow. Last year when I was up here, I told a story about my children and how I got into the life sciences practice. In the interest of not being one of those parents who could only talk about their children, I will not tell another story about them. Though I will say that my daughter, who's 14 and is on the robotics team, I hope can accomplish some of the things our young innovators accomplish, because it really is amazing. So instead of telling a story about my kids, I'll tell a short story about one of my clients instead. So I was at the dentist about 3 weeks ago. For those of you who haven't noticed, I'm actually getting an implant. I'm missing a tooth up here. And I'm sitting there with this thing sucking in my mouth and making a lot of noise. And the person who answers the phones comes in and starts complaining to the dentist about all the calls they're getting, the ridiculous robocalls they're getting, and all the things that are coming through. So, of course, I take the thing out of my mouth so they can understand me and say, well, you know what, I have a client who could fix that for you. And tell them about Aaron and Noma Robo. So that was about 3 weeks ago. Told them about it, actually grabbed my dentist's phone, show them how to sign up for it. And then I'm there last week. I'm actually going today to get my tooth in, but I went last week, and all they could do was thank me and how happy they were because she's not getting all these calls anymore. So, Aaron, thank you for making my dentist's life better. So now I'm going to announce the awardees in our No Boundaries category, which covers entrepreneurs and innovators, innovations outside of traditional categories. So our first awardee in this category saw a need for business development support on the East End of Long Island and for East End entrepreneurs and decided he could do something about it. Ashley Heather, CEO of iHamptons, brought Hamptons elegance to the workplace by creating a resource hub, first inside the friendly confines of the Southampton Country Club and later at the Spur at the station, a renovated space near the Long Island Railroad Southampton station. Then he created Spur East End, a second location in East Hampton, offering co-working spaces for up to 50 people, a conference room, and complimentary breakfast during the work week, along with the requisite A-list elbow rubbing. Their next step, additional locations on the East End, and possibly other resort towns around the nation. But the goal is to be 10 minutes from every entrepreneur on the East End. Join me now in congratulating the CEO of iHamptons, Ashley Heather. So before I read the next awardee, I do want to say any mispronunciations are all my fault and nothing to do with Marlene, so I'll say that up front. Our next award recognizes the collaboration of 3 separate entities that gave Long Island students a chance to spend part of their summer learning the ins and outs of complex robotics through a host of STEM-based educational programs. The Snappy XO Design, Innovation, and Robotics Camp, a 2-week immersive project, was the brainchild of Plainview-based Composite Prototyping Center, which hosted the kids, Dix Hills-based Mechanismic Inc., and the Stony Brook University-based Manufacturing and Technology Resource Consortium. But while the kids got their hands-on introduction to things like microcontroller programming, electronic circuit design, the theme was centered on robotics, the true focus was the development of a future workforce ready for multiple industries. Please join me in recognizing this innovative project and the people who made it possible. Jim Karanik of the Composite Prototyping Center, Dr. Anurag Porwar, founder of Mechanismic and creator of the Snappy XO Robotics Toolkit, and Cynthia Colon of the Manufacturing and Technology Resource Consortium. Okay, so history, it happens every day. Our next awardee preserves and celebrates Long Island's connection to the history of man's landing on the moon. In July, the world will celebrate NASA's momentous achievement, but Garden City's Cradle of Aviation Museum, and if you've never been there, you gotta go, it's amazing, Countdown to Apollo at 50 celebration has been in full swing for the better part of a year. The museum's celebrations have included appearances by actual NASA astronauts, along with a series of educational and inspirational exhibitions meant to remind visitors how far we've come and how far we can still go with space exploration. Upcoming events include a special June 6th dinner featuring multiple Apollo astronauts, as well as a family-friendly Apollo Moon Festival on July 20th, the golden anniversary of Neil Armstrong's historic lunar steps. Please join me in recognizing the Cradle of Aviation Museum. Accepting the award is the museum's president, Andrew Parton. I was going to say, you don't look like an Andy to me. So our last awardee in this category demonstrates the adage that there's strength in numbers, or maybe just the more the merrier. LG Studios, which officially opened this month, is a collaboration of Lorraine Gregory Communications, Hauppauge-based production studio Mirrorland Productions, and the Drake Media Network, owned by popular Long Island talk show host Donna Drake. The professional video production facility, constructed inside Lorraine Gregory Communications' Edgewood warehouse, was built for Lorraine Gregory's clients needing 21st century marketing programs, as well as a variety of Mirrorland and Drake Media projects. LG Studios is a unique production facility ideal for everything from talk shows to commercials, so instead of renting space in New York City, the goal is to have the productions come to Suffolk County. Join me now in congratulating Greg Demetriou, CEO of Lorraine Gregory Communications. So congratulations again to all our awardees. Join me now in welcoming our next presenter, Craig Fine, to the stage.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Stephen. Good luck with the tooth. I'm Craig Fine. I'm the Long Island Managing Partner of Mazars USA. For those that don't know, Mazars USA is a full-service audit, accounting, tax advisory firm with a national and international reach across industries and service businesses of all sizes. I specialize in manufacturing with a large concentration in food and beverage and health services. It's a true privilege to be here with so many innovators who help make Long Island the great place it is and hopefully continue to make it a great place for years to come. It's my privilege to announce the winners of the Innovator of the Year Awards in Food and Beverage. I'm going to start with City Leaf Farm. It's an urban hydroponic startup located in Valley Stream, which is my old hometown. I don't know if any Valley Stream Falcons are here from the class of '87. It was founded by ecologically conscious husband and wife team Peyton and Melanie Marsh that aims to move city towards sustainable practices while improving the urban availability of fresh-grown produce. Alan, you thought yours was tough. Among other efforts, the Marshes have created a closed-loop water system flowing with natural vitamins and minerals, as well as control systems for their indoor farmsteads' temperature, humidity, and light levels. Conscientious of their ecological footprint, the farmers' goals are noble, not only building their own business, but promoting healthier eating while minimizing environmental impacts, connecting people to their food sources, and creating ever more resilient and sustainable agricultural practices. Please join me in wishing Peyton and Melanie Marsh continued success and congratulating them for their innovations at City Leaf Farm. Sorry about that. Our next awardees took a negative, the loss of a beloved pet, and turned it into a positive. Determined to provide healthy alternatives to imported pet treats packed with unnatural ingredients, Margaret and Bruce McDonough partnered on a new endeavor, organic single-ingredient pet treats, offering creative treats like doggy ice cream and a fruit and veggie selection featuring watermelons, pineapples, and yams. The innovators of Talk Treats to Me have also found fans among cats, ferrets, and even horses. Shying away from big box vendors that don't align with their wholesome chemical-free mission, Talk Treats to Me has grown largely through word of mouth, legwork, and making the rounds at farmers markets across Long Island. Proud to now be on shelves at more than 65 brick and mortar stores between Montauk and New York City, the McDonoughs are also working to build up Talk Treats to Me's mail order business. Join me in congratulating the creators of Talk Treats to Me, Margaret and Bruce McDonough. The expression moving at a snail's pace could not only apply to my daughter getting ready for school in the morning, but also to our next awardee, Taylor Knapp, the celebrated chef at Greenpoint's Paw Paw restaurant. Or it might not, since Taylor's startup, Peconic Escargot, is the first USDA-certified fresh snail farm on Long Island and the only never canned or frozen escargot supplier in the U.S., and that could lead to fast-moving business. Raising a French species known as Petite Gris, little gray snail, Peconic Escargot keeps its predator-free livestock happy with a diet of wild forage greens, including dandelion, burdock, and clover. Exactly what a growing snail would eat in the wild. The result, plump, juicy escargot and fresh snail caviar that could be ordered online by amateur cooks and by wholesale customers, including restaurants and distributors. Please join me now in wishing him continued success and congratulating Taylor Knapp, founder of Peconic Escargot. Congratulations again to all of this morning's awardees. Please welcome Michael Faltacek to the stage for the presentation of the John L. Komanicki Legacy Award.
Morning, everyone. First, let me congratulate all of you for the innovation and the contributions you're making to not only our Long Island infrastructure, but to all of us as well who will benefit from what you're doing. I also want to thank particularly Marlene. I mean, she is an incredible woman and continues to put together what John started. I remember well meeting with John before this was even begun to talk about what he had in mind and his vision. And I'm pleased to see that that vision has come to be a reality. Of course, the best reality was his choice of Marlene to work with him as a partner. So I'm pleased to have been chosen to introduce our honoree today. But before I do, let me finish the remarks that Marlene started earlier this evening, or this morning, on the award and the nature of its choice. The award is a clock. A timepiece of himself was what? Boy, I can't even read it. John particularly liked timepieces. He had several fashion statement type watches. Two were especially beloved. One obviously connects us because we both share a Mickey Mouse watch. His was given to him by his daughter, and one cherished from a favorite uncle. He also had a bunch of clocks in his office. Some were given to him as awards, and in the corridor, and a few special pieces at home from when he lived in Europe. He liked timepieces. He said because of what they reminded him of, not as a reminder of lost time or something missed, not something you can never have again, but everything that lay ahead. Every new thing, every opportunity, chance encounter, every possibility to do something more. What was to come intrigued him more than what he just left behind. So this clock, this timepiece, will serve to remind you, Yaakov, of what lies ahead for you. All of your new things, every possibility to do something more. We sincerely wish that for you, and we're hoping for that. There's still more of your legacy, your gifts, to bequeath to all of us. And of course, the other reason to give you a clock is so you can keep track of time, because you won't have Hannah or Kathleen, Anne-Marie, or the rest of the Stony Brook campus to make sure you get your meetings when you're supposed to. Of course, that'll be a problem for me, because now I have to figure out how to get you to our meetings on time. So with those words, Marlene, thank you for your continuing contribution here to all of us and to the future. So Michael Faltashek, I'm a founding partner of Ruskin Moscow Faltashek. We're today a 70-person law firm, lawyers, and one of the largest corporate and securities groups on Long Island, headed by my partner, Irv Brum, and Steve Kupperschmidt, who I think is here somewhere. Together, we contribute regularly to this Innovation Society since our founding. We have, to our credit, many of the successful companies that have been grown up on Long Island, innovated on Long Island, started from beginning through very successful outcomes, exits, public offerings, and continued success in their chosen fields, and we're very proud to have been a part of that. So, innovation. Innovation is the process of introducing something new. It's translating ideas into commercially viable products and services. Our honoree, Yaakov Shamash, interestingly shares a name, Shamash. What does it mean? Well, it has several meanings if you look in the dictionary. One, which stands very well for him, is that it was the Babylonian sun god. So he shines on everyone and everyone here around us who gets the opportunity to work with him. It is also, interestingly, the Shamash is the candle used to light all the other candles at Hanukkah, a Jewish celebration. And that, too, shows your leadership capabilities and that you've demonstrated over the years. I truly believe that circumstances are a great contributor to the ability to innovate, and Yaakov certainly has had his. In life, he was born at Basra a name which has become familiar to us for the wrong reasons. But he was fortunate enough to have emigrated from there to London and got his education there and went on to very happily come to us on Long Island nearly 30 years ago, coinciding at a time, as earlier mentioned, when Grumman and the aerospace industry totally collapsed. So here was young Yakov coming to Stony Brook to oversee a thriving industry that just went in the crapper. So where did that put him? Well, he jumped right in. Through Yakov's leadership, outreach to government, outreach to the private sector, establishment of organizations that we all know today. There's so many, I couldn't even begin to name them. They begin with ListNet, Peter Goldsmith sitting next to him, one of the leaders in fostering the technology industry on Long Island. I think it was begun almost at about the time Yakov came to Long Island. That was 1992, believe it or not. Jump through my cards. Some of the more crowning achievements that we're familiar with is the Center for Excellence in Wireless Technology at Stony Brook, the Advanced Energy Research and Technology Center, the Long Island High Technology Incubator, all hubs of the development innovation that we see today on Long Island. It was good because he turned down Oxford, believe it or not, to come find his way here. Of course, he's also a co-author of a book called Linear System Theory. I have no idea what that means, Yakov. I don't think anybody else here would. But linear systems presumably mean one thing will lead to another, and here we are. So I'm not quite sure how much further I want to take this and take up the time of the people here. It's really a tribute to you, Yakov, that so many people are still here at this hour after all the awards have been given. That in itself is an accomplishment. But we look forward to your future in leading and being an advisor to businesses through your new venture at Illuminato Partners that I hope to be very close to you with, along with Bob Cattell and Larry Waldman. And with that, enough said about you. Congratulations, Yakov, on your honor. And please come and accept it.
We have to have that internet joke, please. One more time.
I was about to say, please come up and say something other than a joke.
Something. say something, and then send us out laughing with that internet joke. I can never remember the damn
Thank you, my dear. You're a sweetheart. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, Greg. It's truly a great honor to receive the Kamenicki Award. As you know, he was a very close friend of mine. Michael, thank you very much for your introduction. Went on a little too long. We didn't have to go all the way back to Basra, for God's sake. But it truly is an honor. I want to thank you all. I want to thank the team that I've worked with for many, many years at Stony Brook. A wonderful team, a terrific bunch of people. I will continue to work with them, of course, because I'm getting the best job on any university campus, which is being a full professor with tenure. I do want to recognize Rich Reeder, who is the Vice President for Research at Stony Brook, and Peter Donnelly, who will be taking over a lot of my administrative responsibilities at Stony Brook. I also want to thank the many business partners that we've had over the years, that I've had over the years. Wonderful friends, many, many friends here. Some of them I haven't even had a chance to say hello to, but thank you all. Thank you very much. Again, Innovate Long Island, keep the innovation going, and I assure you that Stony Brook will continue to innovate. Okay, we have a wonderful group of companies at Stony Brook, about 70 companies at any one time, which is an incredible thing. And that, together with what's going on at the other institutions on Long Island, I think are going to be the engine for growth for Long Island in the technology area. So thank you all very much, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay, that is our program for this morning. Unless you want to just stay, we can all sit and talk for a while, have some more coffee, talk about Yakov, listen to Michael. But thank you all for coming, and we will see you again next year. Okay.